Hi, it's Margie from Margeless Creations, and this is my daughter.
Hi, my name's Chloe.
And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to add beads onto a project that's already finished. And there's a couple of different techniques with beads, stringing them on to your work as you're starting, or adding them on after. Okay, so this method I'm going to show you is basically taking your needle and your thread and stringing your beads and then stitching them down. So what I'm going to do is, while I'm going through, I'm going to be putting my beads on my points of my crown here, and then I'm going to stitch them down so that they stay up instead of droop down. So I've already got one done here, and that's how it's supposed to look. So I've already got my thread securely attached to the top there. And so the reason I'm doing this method for adding on afterwards is because if you can see the hole there of my bead, it's very small. So I can't even get my smallest crochet hook through it, which is a 0.75 millimeter. Like, it goes in, but it won't go all the way through. So I prefer doing that method, which I'll show you that in a little bit here. So I'm going to string my bead. Are you serious? Another reason why I hate it is because I always tend to lose my thread and then have to restring my needle. Rethread my needle? Yeah, I'm not the sewer. I hate sewing. My mommy's the sewer. I suppose I should really teach my daughter the love of sewing, because then she can do these things for me. Okay, so there we go. It's on there. And then just going to do a couple of stitches around to make sure it's in there solidly. And then I'm going to go through the bead a bunch of times, just again to make sure it's going to stay on there. Now, usually when I'm adding something on afterwards, I like using a clear plastic-ish type thread. I just find it gives it a little bit more of a security. It's less visible. But I'm using kind of a pale yellow, which blends in quite well for this. Okay, and then I was stitching it, stitch it on 4 up, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So then I'm folding that up and just doing a quick little top stitch, so only grabbing the first little bit of the yarn on that row. And then I'm stitching it just 4 or 5 times back and forth through there, just to make sure it's good. Yeah, so that's this method. So then you can either tie the string off and then when you start over here, tie it on and do it again, or you could potentially work your thread through, going like this all the way to the other end. Yeah, so then I'll repeat that all the way around. Okay, so this is the newborn version of the crown hat. So I actually am going to use smaller beads on this one. So that's how big these ones are. And this is how big the ones are that I used on the 9-month one. It doesn't actually fit on my 1.10 millimeter hook. Okay, so I've already got my thread on there. So I'm going to make sure I'm through the working loop. And then I'm going to just put the bead on. And then I'm just going to make a single crochet. So I can pull up, yarn over and pull through the loop, and pull through the bead. See there, I'm through the bead. And then pulling through the starting loop. So there we go. And then I'm going to do a chain. Okay. And so since I have to attach this, because of this particular pattern, I need to pin that up, right? So I'm just going to yarn through there. Pull it through, basically do a slip stitch through everything there. There we go. And then I'm going to, okay, not get caught up in my ring. Maybe I'm taking my ring off for that. I usually love working with my ring because it prevents my yarn burn. I get really irritated from using some yarns, and so, because sometimes they're wool, sometimes they're acrylic, and so different yarns just do different things. Okay, and then I'm actually going to kind of single crochet basically 2 in the back of each one, just because of the stitches, and I'm using the back loops to do it so that the thread isn't all that noticeable as we're going through the project. Okay, I've also decided on this one that I'm going to put the beads down here as well, just to give it something different. So I'll show you how I did that again. Okay, so I'm going to actually start from here. So I'm just going to do another single crochet. Oh, I lost it. All the way back there. Working with thread can be very tricky because with these smaller crochet hooks, the hooks are very tiny. Okay, so I've got it there. I'm going to place my bead on the hook. Okay, and then I'm going to do a single crochet. So in, yarn over, and pull through. Okay, and then that's the base of the single crochet, yarn over, pull through that loop, through the bead, and through there, and then we do another chain. Okay, so this, I'm going to show you the same method again, just so on a bracelet so you'll be able to see it. So what I've done here is I put a large bead on the end, and I chained about 100 or so. I think it was 100. And then I made a small loop so that it'll be my end clasp for my bead. And that'll hold my bracelet on. And it'll be a double wrapped bracelet. Okay, and then I single crocheted 4. And then I will start with the bead capturing. So then I slip my bead on, get my working end of my yarn, and do a single crochet. So yarn over, pull up, yarn over, and pull through the first loop, the bead, and the second loop, and then chain 1. Then single crochet just one solidly. Okay, and then put your next bead on. Oh, and see, this bead is not wanting to go onto this hook. This is my 1.10. So I'm just going to switch to the 7.5, or sorry, the 0.75 millimeter. Let's see if it fits on there. And then I'm going to go in, yarn over. So this one's going to be a bit harder because I'm using a smaller hook. Okay, so this next method is the method that most people end up using. So I've put a whole bunch of my beads here and just strung them onto my fingering weight yarn. And I'm doing the exact same bracelet pattern. So my bead at the end, 100 or so chain, loop big enough for it to go through at the end, and I'm not working it properly. Okay, and then single crochet 3 or 4. Okay, and with this one I'm actually using my 2.1 millimeter. Okay, so then for this what we do is we end up taking one of our beads on our string. So there, you can see it on the string there, right? And then we kind of hold it here and we do our yarn, stick it in and our yarn over, so it's sitting there, and then yarn over and pull through both loops. And then it's captured there. And it's focusing on my background instead of focusing on me. There we go. So there you can see that. So I'll do it again. Okay, so then single crochet, move a bead up, okay, I'm going to kind of hold it here with my fingers, right? And then we're going to single crochet into there, yarn over and pull it up. Okay, and making sure it's facing on this side, and then yarn over, and there it is, it's captured. So this one is a really good way to do it if you know exactly how many stitches you're doing, exactly how many beads you're going to need, and you like taking the time to pre-string your beads. I find that takes a while. It takes a lot of time to pre-string your beads. I don't like doing it. I like doing it the other way, where you just kind of go and add them in as you need to. Yeah. But both ways work. Even the stitching way that I showed you to begin with, even though I also don't like that, but they all have their places, right? So I would love to see what you guys do with, how you guys do with stringing your beads and what you guys make with them. Right, there we go. Okay, ta-da! There's my pattern. So my beads will just repeat through there. So there you have it, a couple of different techniques on how to do some beading with your crochet. And we're wearing our crown hats.
Because we don't have any cute babies to take pictures of.
Yeah. So I just put them onto a headband, and yeah. So the one Chloe's wearing is the one we did with the
needle and a thread.
Yep. And just stitched them down. And then I'm wearing the one that is, oh, what did we do? I crocheted it on. Put the beads on and then crocheted it on, just like I did with my bracelet. And I did the bracelet so that you guys could see it in a larger form. And then with Chloe's bracelet, we did the, what did we do?
We strung it on the string and then crocheted.
And then crocheted on. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy those techniques, and we'd love to see what you guys create with the techniques. And we'll see you on the next video. See, this is why I hate this method. I've already got a knot there. Can you see it? So if you get a knot, you should be able to just tug on one of the ends and pull it out. No. Hi, I'm Margie from Margeless Creations, and this is my daughter.
Chloe. Hi.
So someone decided I wasn't paying enough attention to him. Everybody, say hi to Quinto. He's sitting on my desk. Quinto! He's like, Mom, stop crocheting and pay attention to me. And it's falling. Look at this. It's not working.